Is this even like, that's like so lame. It just like doesn't even work. Like you have to, like, it's so bouncy. Do I have a, oh dude, I'm gonna put it on the little tech deck. Check that out, dude. That is fire. Why, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Listen very closely, okay? You gotta listen so closely right now because what I'm about to say is more important than the fact that this microphone is on a freaking tech deck, okay? This is more important than any trilogy you've ever seen. This is the greatest saga ever experienced by man, okay? Got it? Okay. Just wanna make sure we're all on the same page here. No, I'm not exaggerating. This is literally insane. This is insane. I just need y'all to tune in. Hit that cute little like button and just follow along for the story, okay? Yes, the tech deck is gonna stay here for the whole video. This was not planned, but here we are. Let me just set the scene for you a little bit here. We have this guy. His name is Corey Harris. He gets pulled over. Turns out, he's driving with a suspended license. That's not allowed. That's not cool. Don't do that. If your license is suspended, don't drive. I don't know where to hold this. I don't know if it sounds terrible. If it's over here, it probably does. But that's not my problem. That's your problem, because you're the one watching the video and wants good quality audio. My bad. Anyways, in 2024, he has a court date that he has to be on a Zoom call for. Now, oopsie doopsie daisy, when he joins the call, he is driving. He's driving. He's parking his car. Just watch.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present in Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. Just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
As you might expect, this went absolutely mega viral on the internet because it's hilarious. So, of course, the judge does what judges do and he closes that case right up.
So defendant's bond is revoked. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today.
So, Corey spends 2 days in jail. Now, his driver's license was suspended in 2021 for failure to pay child support, which means that his driving privileges were revoked. I actually don't understand the stipulation behind that. Why failure to pay child support? You can't drive now. Now, of course, if he did have a license in a different state, he'd be allowed to drive again, just wouldn't be allowed to drive in Michigan. Seems fair enough. Sounds about right. Later in 2021, new clean state laws were put into place in Michigan, which meant that anyone under certain stipulations, such as failure to pay child support, were eligible to have their license suspension lifted. This means he can now get his license back if he goes through the proper steps. Now, in 2022, he never actually took the necessary steps with the friend of the court to get his driving privileges back. Usually in a case like this, you'd pay a fine, you'd be sent a release form, which you would then bring to the Secretary of State's office within a certain amount of time. So, from the traffic stop in October 2023 till his May court appearance in 2024, he never did that. So, his suspension was never lifted. But wait a minute, because that's not the whole story. It never is. That's not the whole story. Funnily enough, during this court hearing, he actually had taken the steps necessary to get that suspension lifted prior to the court hearing. However, those documents didn't make it to the court hearing in time. Maybe don't go to the Secretary of State's office on a Monday, right before your Wednesday hearing. Which meant that the suspension on his driving record was actually lifted the Monday before his Wednesday court hearing, which apparently wasn't enough time for the Secretary of State's office to get that info to the court before his hearing, which meant that he was ordered to turn himself in and was thrown in jail for 2 days.
No, check the light.
But oh no, dear viewer, that is not the entire story because there was a second court hearing. Of course, when the judge asked why he couldn't make it to the Secretary of State's office, he said that he was in an accident which caused him to be bedridden, which meant that he wasn't able to get there. Which was not true. And is quite hilarious because the judge knew this. He just called him out. He just called him out right in the courtroom. He just called him out right there, face to face. The judge asked him where he was on December 28th, 2023, and Corey didn't really have an answer, but the judge knew what the answer to that question was, and it was that he was at the Secretary of State's office renewing his state ID. Because this man never had a license. He never had one. He was never issued one. Michigan never gave him a license. In Michigan, you're not allowed to have a state ID and a driver's license at the same time. So in other words, he lied the entire time. The whole time he was lying. He never had a license. He was never given a license. He every single year he renewed his state ID. He never had a license. Just never had one. You listening? Which is just crazy to me. That's just insane. That's just insane to me. Before I had a driver's license, I never even thought about driving a car. How do you even learn to drive? How do you even learn to drive a car? I mean, I guess somebody would teach you how to drive, even if you're not technically, you don't have a permit or anything. But like, it's like, how do you even? Like, how are you that brave? Literally during his October 2023 traffic stop that brought him into court in the first place for driving with a suspended license, he says twice that he doesn't have a driver's license. Of course, now he's in the process of getting a license and he has a permit test coming up, so hopefully it all works out for him. To be completely honest, I don't really understand what's going on with the criminal justice system in Michigan, but what I think is really funny is all of the YouTubers who are trying to cover this story and failing miserably and having to apologize twice because there are so many twists and turns. It's insane. I really only know about a couple because they're the people who I follow and am subscribed to, so they're the videos that pop up. I didn't really look all that much, but I know that Moist Critical made 2 videos now. He's probably gonna make another one about it because this is just insane, and he was like losing his mind over the second time, which was that we owe him an apology because his license wasn't suspended at the time of the first hearing. Ollie Coca did make 3 videos because he had to come back after the first 2, after talking about how silly this dude is and then having to come back and apologize because he didn't actually have a suspended license during the court hearing, and had to come back and talk about how insane it is that he never had a license in the first place and that literally everything before was all a lie. It's insane. And I gotta be honest, I don't even know who else made videos about this. Philip DeFranco probably made 3 videos by now. To be completely honest, I wasn't gonna make a video at all because I just thought it was like, you know, silly little YouTube video that everyone laughs at. You know, silly guy does silly thing, go jail. But for some reason, my little noggin must have known something was up because I just never had any interest in making a video about this at all. But I had no idea how insane this was going to become. In my opinion, and you can think that I'm wrong, but I think this is better than the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I think this is better than either of the 3 Star Wars trilogies, any of them. Name one, this is better than that, as well as every single Lego movie that has ever been released combined. And yes, that does include Clutch Powers, okay? Big fan of that. This is better than that. But either way, I hope you enjoyed coming along for the ride because this was an absolute roller coaster to watch people try to cover it, fail miserably multiple times, and I just think that it's pretty silly that YouTubers fail to do research or have to jump on a story super quick so that they can cover it and get the views. It ends up working out in the end anyways because they get 3 times the views for something like this, but I just think it's crazy all around. It's crazy that this is even a thing that happened, and it's even funnier. We're trying to watch all the YouTubers figure out what the heck is going on and trying to cover it over and over again. So I hope you enjoyed. Please have a lovely day. Hope you didn't hear my chair squeaking too much because it's very loud, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. I literally have a real tech deck, and I decided to use the one fake tech deck that I have.